Where in the New Testament does it condemn polygyny and say you...
1 Corinthians 7, verses 1 to 5. Now, concerning the things of which you write to me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. In other words, to be celibate. Nevertheless, because of sexual immorality, let each man have his own wife, and let each woman have her own husband. Now, you see it says each woman has her own husband, right? Not husbands?
Yes.
How many husbands can she have?
One.
Oh, but let's finish it. Let each man have his own wife, not wives. How many wives can a husband have?
It's saying they're one.
Let the husband render to his wife, not wives, the affection due to her, and likewise also the wife to her husband, not husbands. Now watch this, because you're not going to find this teaching in the Quran. The wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does. So her body belongs to her husband. Now watch this. And likewise, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. So the husband's body belongs to the wife. The wife's body belongs to the husband. One husband, one wife. Do not deprive one another. In other words, do not deny each other sexual intimacy unless you agree. You both agree for a period of time that you may give yourselves to fasting and prayer and come together again so that Satan does not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. So, just like the woman has one husband, the man has one wife, and the man's body belongs to his wife's body belongs to him. So when the wife wants to be intimate, the man can't say no. Now, can you show me a similar teaching in the Quran where the Quran says that the husband's body belongs to the woman and the husband's body is the woman's still?
I know some hadith that says how the woman is like a garden or a field for
No, that's in the Quran. That's in Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2 of the Quran. It says that your wives are your field. Plow into them the way you want. Do you like that? Do you like Allah describing you as a field that your husband can plow into?
Can we move to the next question?
Sure, go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
I just have a couple questions. I was born Muslim. I was born into Islam. And I used to be super religious. I used to wear the hijab and everything, pray 5 times a day. I met a lot of Christians and they used to ask me questions. I would tell them it's not true. Come to find out, it is true. So now I'm confused. I have a Bible. I bought it a couple months ago. Whew, sorry, I'm really nervous.
Are you nervous because I'm bald or what are you nervous?
No, I being told something was the truth for so long. Now I'm stuck. It's kind of hard for me. Someone had asked me is it true that men can be on women? I said, absolutely not. Where did you find that? Oh, it's in your book. Show me. They would show me it, and I can't really defend it. There's nothing I can say because it's clearly there.
That is there.
And other things about the Prophet Muhammad. See, now I'm stuck because, sorry, I'm so nervous.
Okay, no need to be.
Apparently, there's a lot of horrific things about the Prophet.
Yes, there is. Too many.
Can you tell me? Can you show me? I want to know.
Yeah, I will show you from authentic sources because I'm assuming Palestinian. You were from a Sunni background.
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm going to sum up some of the things Muhammad did, and I'm going to show you. And I have articles, and in my articles, I link to Muslim websites because Muslims will accuse us of lying, but then we quote Muslim websites. Number one, Muhammad sanctioned not only taking captive women and raping them, but married captive women and raping them, which is unlike the Old Testament where the God of Moses told Moses, if you find a woman captive, because they go to war is inevitable. And we can talk about who started the war between the Muslims and the unbelievers. The God of Moses told Israel, you find a captive woman, you cannot enslave her, you cannot rape her, you give her a month to mourn, and then you marry her and treat her as a wife. And if you divorce her, you let her go. And yet here, Muhammad comes in the Quran and the Sunnah, and he says, when you take women captive, you can rape them. Now, they don't use the word rape, obviously. They're not going to use the term. But if I ask you a question, if you got taken captive because there's a war and the man has sex with you, do you think you'd be willing to have sex with your captor?
No, absolutely not.
Well, Islam says you have no choice. Once they capture you, you're their property. And he says you can even do it with married women. That's number one. Number two, I'm sure you know this, and it's not just with Muhammad, but the Quran sanctions this, and Islamic Sharia sanctions this. Muhammad not only took a 9-year-old to bed when he was 54, the Quran actually permits prepubescent minors, young girls who haven't reached puberty, to be married, for men to have sex with them, and divorce them to be married off again. That's in the Quran and the Sunnah. That's the second thing he did. And that's why to this day, in predominantly Muslim lands, not in the West, where Muslims know they can't do this and get away with this, and they try to present a rosy picture of Islam. To this day, in Muslim countries, if you go to Saudi Arabia, if you go to Afghanistan, wherever there's a Muslim majority, you'll have young girls, even before 9, being married off. And the only condition, and I'm going to show you this from authentic Muslim sources, the only condition, you know what the only condition is, sister?
No, I don't.
That she can handle penetration. So I'm going to show you where a girl as young as 6, 7, or 8 can be married off, and the man can have sex with her. But if she can't handle penetration, he has to wait till she's 9.
Wow.
Thirdly, Muhammad abolished adoption. Do you know why he did that?
No, I don't.
Because he had married his adopted son's divorced wife, Zainab. And then people started making fun of him, like, how could you take your son's wife? So then Allah abolished adoption, saying, well, adopted sons are not really sons, so stop calling them your sons. So Muhammad, the pervert, took his adopted son's divorced wife, Zainab bin Jahsh, and his adopted son was Zayd ibn Muhammad. But then he said, adoption is now abolished. And that's why in Islam, and you can go to your chef and tell him, in Islam, can we adopt children? Say no, you can take care of orphans. I'm not saying you can't do that. But when an orphan reaches age, he cannot live in the house if he's not a son. Why? Because you know about the issue of mahram.
I heard about that. Wow, I did not know that.
Okay, but let's say you heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
How disgusting of a man that he would allow pedophilia, but then abolish a humane practice such as adoption, because that means in Muslim countries, there are orphans who don't know who their parents are, and there are couples who can't have children. And because of Muhammad, orphans can't be adopted and raised as children, and couples who can't have children cannot adopt children because of Muhammad.
Wow. Okay.
How would you feel about that? Let's say you're married and you can't conceive. And you know there's an orphan who doesn't know who his or her parents are, and you would love to adopt that child and love them as your own, and you can't do it because of Islam.
I would feel pretty hurt, but I know I'm not defending anything, but I know some people, they've told me, oh, well, he can go and marry another wife. Absolutely not. I'm not okay.
That means you're a piece of garbage, piece of meat, because you're irrelevant. What about you then?
Yeah, no, I hear you. I honestly, I did not know that.
Hey, but what about, okay, say he can marry another wife and get a child. What about you? Don't you want a child?
Yeah, I'm going to feel hurt.
Do you want a competition wife who can give him kids and you can't give him kids so that she looks down upon you?
No, I would not want that.
My point is, okay, he can marry someone. What about the orphans that cannot be adopted and be made part of someone's family?
I think that's sad.
Well, that's what Muhammad did. Let me show you. Muhammad said you can rape captive women who are married. So Muhammad was a very filthy, evil, immoral monster. But what the Muslims do, they focus on his good qualities and never speak about the bad qualities. That's why in Islamic law, Sharia, you are killed if you criticize Muhammad. How convenient, huh?
Yeah.
Why would you need to kill people who talk about Muhammad? If Muhammad is a pillar and he's a saint, what's there to say about him to discredit him unless you know there's a lot of filthy, evil, vile things about this man? It's like me focusing on the good qualities of Hitler and ignoring what a monster he was, right?
Yeah.
Islam, the religion of rape and adultery. But the thing is, I link to Muslim sources. This is Surah An-Nisa, chapter 4, verse 24. Now, this is telling Muslim men whom they cannot have sex with. Also forbidden are women already married. So I can't have sex with a married woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except those captives and slaves whom your right hands possess. You hear that?
Yes.
They're on the screen. So I can't have sex with you if you're a married woman unless you're my captive or slave. That means then it doesn't matter you're married. I own you. I can now have sex with you. Now, what was the reason this passage was sent down? Well, here you go. I have it here, but so you don't think I'm making it up. Sunnah.com. Does it say Christian.com?
No, it says sunnah.com.
Okay, this is a Muslim site. So now let's see what it says. The Book of Suckling, and there's an interesting story related to this. Chapter 9, it is permissible to have intercourse with a female captive after it is established that she's not pregnant. If she has a husband, then her marriage is annulled when she's captured. Did you catch it?
Yes, I see it.
Okay, so if you're married and I take you captive, your marriage is void. Why? Because Muhammad said so. Now watch here. Abu Sayyid al-Khudri reported that at the Battle of Hunayn, Allah's messenger sent an army Autas and encountered the enemy and fought with them. Having overcome them, taking them captives, the companions of Allah's messenger seemed to refrain from having intercourse with captive women. Why? Why didn't they want to have sex with them? Because of their husbands being polytheists. They were like, all right, well, they're married, their husbands are pagans, we refuse to have sex with them. Then Allah Most High sent down regarding that, and women already married, except those whom your right hands possess, i.e. they were lawful for them when their iddah period came to an end. Meaning, no, don't worry about it. You can have sex with them. Don't worry that their husbands are kafir. Don't worry about it, their husband's still alive. Just make sure they're not pregnant, so that you know if they're pregnant, it's not your child. So now plow into them and rape them. Now, I want to ask you a question. Would a decent, moral woman who's married consent to having sex with her captor when her husband's alive?
No.
But it's not up to you, because it says that when you're taken captive, your marriage is annulled. You're his property. Your opinion doesn't matter.
Wow.
Exactly. Wow. Okay, did you honor Muhammad? Did you get circumcised?
That's a very personal question.
Hold on, are you ashamed? I'm reading the hadith.
I personally do not believe in female circumcision.
Well, your prophet did. We just read the sound hadith. You want me to read them again? Aisha did.
I personally do not.
Do not tell us your personal faith. You're a Muslim. You submit to Allah and His Messenger. Do not tell us your personal faith, because then you're going to be
But it's left for interpretation.
Here it is. Aisha and Muhammad.
The Sunan Abu Dawud, this is 5271 on Sunnah.com. A woman used to perform circumcision in Medina. The Prophet said to her, "Do not cut severely, as that is better for a woman and more desirable for a husband."
Can you tell her what the hadith classification is by Al-Albani?
Yeah, it's grade Sahih.
Sahih. Your prophet saw a woman circumcising girls. He says, don't cut too severely. They cut, but not too severely. So why did you go against what your prophet permitted?
Can you give the actual context from the Quran?
Yeah, what Quran? The Quran says nothing about circumcision of men. But so why did you circumcise your boys?
I'm asking you the question though.
I answered you from the same sunnah that you got, circumcise your boys. The Quran knows nothing of circumcision. That's my argument. My argument is your Quran makes no sense, because you cannot find many of these practices in your Quran. You agreed it's not the Quran, the Sunnah. But the same Sunnah you appeal to justify circumcising your boys is the same Sunnah that says not just boys but girls. One part you kept, you ignored the other. When are you going to make tawbah? And when are you going to get circumcised? Wait, why are
you're almost making it seem like things that are sunnah are fard, but it's not.
Okay, so is it fard to circumcise males?
It is.
Where does it say that?
I implore you to Google that, since you guys have the computer in front of you.
Okay, so if it's not fard, then why did your prophet allow it? Why didn't he say, hey, don't do it? Why did Aisha have her nieces get circumcised? You want to show the hadith of Aisha? Where her nieces, the daughters of her brother, they got circumcised. She goes, now bring someone to entertain them so that they can not focus on the pain. So for everyone, I want everyone to hear it. It's not mandatory, right? It is sunnah, which means what exactly? So it's sunnah means it's preferred, it's more preferable you do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Muhammad and Aisha prefer that women do it, but you're saying you prefer not to. So you know more than that?
No.
So again, why don't you do what is more preferable? And why don't you get circumcised?
I don't think the option, when people are getting circumcised, let's say from my native land, I'm from Somalia, right? I did not.
Oh, they do that a lot there.
Exactly.
See, wait, did you hear it? Wait, sister, don't go. Exactly. She does admit, Muslims in Somalia, they do it a lot, right?
Sure.
And so why didn't you do it? Why were you being a bad Muslimah when it's more preferable to do a sunnah?
Please show me an account of a 10-year-old who actively goes out to go find someone to circumcise
I don't
himself.
need to show you. Your prophet said a woman was circumcising girls, and Aisha's nieces got circumcised. So are you saying that they have to be 10? It doesn't say anything about their age. For all I know, they're probably 9 years old, like Aisha.
I'm giving you a random age. It's not to the child, it's to the parent.
It says here that Aisha's nieces were circumcised, so it's okay if they're grown-ups. Okay, you're grown-up, so why don't you get circumcised?
What would the point of a circumcision on an adult who's already had children?
So you just said that Muhammad and Aisha don't know what they're talking about. Choose your words carefully. Exactly, Muhammad. Here, let me repeat what you said. Hold on, I want to repeat it to Muhammad and Aisha. Exactly, Muhammad and Aisha. What's the point that you got these girls circumcised if they're adults? Don't you know better? I'm just reading your hadith. She's saying, what's the point? Exactly. So now you're going to say they were children?
No, you're asking me as an adult, why don't I make tawbah and go ahead with the circumcision?
Yeah, because
I'm telling you,
is it more preferable to do a sunnah than not?
It is more preferable to do sunnah.
And in your Somalia, were there young girls who got circumcised?
Sure, like East
old?
Africa.
How old?
I don't know.
Okay. Were they under 10? Do you know some who were under 10?
I personally don't know of any.
Okay, but so you're saying in Africa, but Africa was invaded by Islam. But let's say that was before Islam. So why is Muhammad?
I wouldn't say Africa was ever invaded by Islam.
I'm telling
Islam
you, it was
brought
invaded
to
by Islam,
Africa.
not you. I'm telling you,
But
the
I
Muslims
can
took
also
over.
argue that Christianity invaded.
They don't change the
Europe.
subject. The Africans
South
do
America.
female circumcision because of the Muslims, right?
Female circumcision is not exclusive to Islam.
Okay, so you're saying that Muhammad, like a good pagan, adopted the pagan practices because the
Not saying
Africans were pagans, right?
I'm not saying that.
Because can you show me where Christians and Jews circumcise girls?
You tell me. I wouldn't
No,
have that
no.
information.
Nada.
I would have assumed that I'm joining in a little late. And by the topic, it says, why do Muslims...
Okay, we'll
reject
talk
the
about
prophets?
that. I'll change it. But
That's
I just
what I
want.
wanted to speak.
Okay, we'll talk about it because we're going to get there. I promise. Let me finish. Just for the record, you'll not find any Jew or Christian circumcising women. The pagans did it. So again, you just admit Muhammad is following pagan practices, not the practices of Ibrahim.
Never said it was a pagan. I
Did you
said
not just
it's not
say-
exclusive to East Africa or Muslims?
but did you not
have
say-
South Asians?
Okay, I'm going to repeat your words because now you're not listening to what you said. That female circumcision is not exclusive to Islam. That means there are others who do it, but the others would be pagans because Jews and Christians don't do it. It's the pagans who do it.
Depending on the context and who started the practice.
Yes, whoever started it, your prophet adopted it. I'm going to argue you're saying he adopted
But
it.
if
Why?
it's not the other way around?
Oh, so you're admitting Muhammad? That was my
I'm
point
not admitting.
originally.
I'm giving an argument to
Okay,
your
anyway.
statement.
Well, You have a problem with your prophet. That's fine. But now let's talk
I
about
do not.
this. So you're okay that your prophet and Aisha and
I
others.
think Islam is perfect in every sense.
So you think it was perfect for Muhammad and Aisha to allow these girls to be circumcised?
You're giving...
Yes
To
or
be
no? I
honest-
read the hadiths. Yes or no?
I don't have a response for that.
Okay, but you said it's perfect. So anyway, let's talk about the message of the
Islam
prophets.
is perfect.
Yes, I know. It's perfect in subduing women, taking captives, and having them. Well, they're really
How is that any different than Christianity?
You wanna
claiming
bet?
Women are cattle.
You don't want to go there because if I show you Deuteronomy 21:10-14, 2,200 years before your prophet, the God of Moses says, you cannot take married captive women and grape them and sell them off. And you can't even grape a captive woman, a single. You have to marry her and make her a wife. And if you divorce her, you let her go and you don't sell her. That's 20 years before your Quran. Your Quran comes and the Hadith comes says, not only can you take captive women and grape them, you can grape married captive women and sell them off. You don't want to go there. But this is not just Sahih Muslim, which is Sahih. Right here, you get the link is right there. But now you go back. Here's another one. This hadith has been reported on the authority of Abu Sayyid al-Khudri through another chain of transmitters. The words are, they took captives on the day of Autas who had their husbands. They were afraid to have sexual intercourse with them. When this verse was revealed, and women already married except those whom your right hands possess, meaning don't have sex with women already married except those that your right hands possess. Don't be afraid. They're yours. Watch here. This one comes from Sunan Abu Dawood, volume 2, number 2150. So when we click here, bam, Kitab al-Nikah. Do you know Arabic, sister?
I do. I speak fluent Arabic.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Nikah. If I forget the fact that they told you means marriage,
Yes.
and if I come and say I want to, and I use the word nikah, I want to do nikah with you. What am I saying to you?
You're asking for marriage.
That's what they told you. Do a little research. You're going to find that nikah is actually the F word.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to show it to you.
Wow.
What Islam did, it took this word for F and then it made it a legal term for marriage. Because what do you do in marriage? You F each other. Sorry, I don't want to be graphic, but that's what it is. I'm going to show it to you because when a man committed zina,
Uh-huh.
okay, Muhammad said, did you F her? Did you do nikah with her? He wasn't saying, did you marry her?
hmm
I'll show it to you in a minute. But anyway, this hadith is sahih, right?
Yes.
Al-Albani, Book 11, Hadith 2150. All right. Abu Sayyid al-Khudri said, the Apostle of Allah sent a military expedition to Autas on the occasion of the Battle of Hunayn. They met their enemy and fought with them. They defeated them and took them captives. Some of the companions of Apostle of Allah were reluctant to have relations with the female captives because of their pagan husbands. So Allah, the Exalted, sent down the Quranic verse, and all married women are forbidden unto you, except save those captives whom your right hand possesses. This is to say that they are lawful for them when they complete their waiting period. No, don't worry about it. Once you take them captive, you can rape them and sell them. Are you okay with this?
I'm not okay with that.
This is how many people experience Islam. If you go back to your history, originally you were not Muslim. your ancestors would have been Christian. Muslims came, attacked your city, raped your female ancestors, took them captives. You have the blood of rapists in your veins. Do you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yes, you have the blood of rapists in your veins. As an Arab speaker, nikah means the F word. F-U is anik, ik. Anyway, I'll show her that. Thank you, Rob, because the Muslims have been brainwashed. This is your legacy. Muslims went and attacked places and took women captive, married women and raped them. Now, that the word nikah, so when it's kitab and nikah, literally it's the book of effing. And if you think I'm lying, here we go. 1 second. It was a very vulgar man. His language was filthy. Muhammad. What would you think of a prophet that says, go bite your father's penises off?
I never heard of that.
I'm showing Muhammad this. Now, you see the Arabic here?
I do.
What does it say?
It says Anni kuntaha.
Okay, aniktuha. Okay, now watch. Look what he says.
Sorry.
It's okay, that's fine. But I want you to tell me, does it mean marriage here? Because let's see what the context is. This is Sahih Bukhari, the Sahih collection of Al-Bukhari.
Mm-hmm.
Ikramah related Ibn Abbas said when Ma'iz ibn Malik, he had committed fornication, sexual morality, he wasn't married, came to the Prophet, he said to him, perhaps you kissed or winked or looked. Maybe you didn't commit adultery. No, Messenger of Allah. He answered, he said, did you have intercourse with her? Using no euphemism. He used this word. Aniktuha. Does that mean married here? He's talking about someone committed adultery.
No.
It means, did you F her?
Wow.
And that's why it says he didn't use a euphemism. He just came out and said, did you F her? He didn't say, did you marry her? He was committing zina.
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah, I understand.
Now, you see how filthy? So, kitab and nikah means the book of effing. So when someone says he wants to perform nikah with you, that means he wants to F you. But legally, so they call it a marriage. Now, let me show you again his filth, because it's all tied in because you're saying how filthy Muhammad is. Now, watch Muhammad talking about biting people's penises off. Ready? Here you go. Right here. And now you see it's on sunnah.com. Right here. Sunnah.com. Sahih al-Adab al-Mufrad. That's by Bukhari. Book 41, Hadith 963. And I'll get you the links in a minute.
Okay.
Utay bin Damura said, I saw with Ubay a man who was attributing himself with an attribution of Jahiliyyah. He's speaking like the pre-Islamic Arabs. So Ubay told him to bite his father's male organ and did not speak figuratively, i.e. was explicit. In other words, he told him to bite his penis off. He wasn't being figurative. So his companions looked at him and said, it appears that you disapprove of it. So Ubay saying, oh, are you upset that I told this man to bite his father's penis? Mm-hmm. Then he said, I will never show apprehension to anyone with regards to this. Verily, I heard the Prophet say, whoever attributes himself with an attribution of Jahiliyyah, then tell him to bite his father's male organ and do not speak figuratively. So tell him to go bite his father's penis. So Muhammad said, that's what you tell people who boast about their lineage.
Wow.
Right, so there you go. Here we go. And here again is Mishkat al-Masabih, right here.
Mm-hmm.
Volume 2, page 1021. Ubay bin Ka'b told that he heard God's messenger say, if anyone proudly asserts his descent in the manner of the pre-Islamic people, tell him to bite his father's penis and do not use a euphemism. This is your prophet. Is this your example? That's what the Muslims tell me. He's the example. I just sent you the link in the private. Guys, I just sent you the link. And here's a link to the other article where he says about, did you F her? Did you F her? So this is the beautiful language of your prophet, the beautiful example of your prophet. So number one, we established he's a filthy-mouthed rapist. He had women raped, even married women. Did you see that?
I did.
Okay. Now, the other thing was pedophilia in Islam. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let me give you the article there. Watch here. I'm going to give you this so then you can go to your scholar and say, hey, here. No, it doesn't mean it. But wait. Ibn Kathir, Qurtubi, Tabari, Ibn Abbas, they all say this is what it means. Oh, okay. Well, you're not supposed to know it. Because Muhammad said, you're stupid. You know that, right?
I
You didn't know he said that about you?
No.
He said that you women are deficient in intelligence. It takes two of you women to equal one man. That's why the majority of you are in hell.
What? Wow.
You didn't know that?
I didn't.
I'm going to show it. I want to show it to you.
Okay.
All right. Now just let me go through this now. Here's another one. So go to the private chat, click on those links, save them.
Okay.
You can go back and then reference them so that they don't say I'm lying, right? So hold on. But here, he's quoting. Here. Chapter 65, verse 4 is talking about the waiting period of a woman who's been married and divorced. So in Islam, if you've been married, but you haven't consummated, there is no iddah, right? Do you know this or no?
No, I didn't.
Let me show it to you.
Okay.
All right, here from the Quran, Quran, Kareem. Here you go. We'll use two translations. The iddah is the waiting period, meaning, okay, I divorce you. You got to wait 3 months, 3 monthly cycles, 3 periods.
I heard that. I heard about that.
Here, look what it says here. Chapter 33, verse 49. So you can see it with your own eyes. Because now tell me how you're going to follow this religion. O ye who believe, if ye wed believing women and divorce them before you have touched them, then there is no period that you should reckon. So if I haven't touched you, after engaged to you, do you have to wait?
Do I have to wait?
What does it say? There is no period that you should reckon, but content them and release them handsomely. Do you have a waiting period in iddah if I'm contract to marry you, but I didn't sleep with you? No, right?
Yeah.
You see it, are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to look at Hilali Khan. Look to your right, Hilali Khan. Oh, you believe when you marry, believe women, and then divorce them before you have sexual intercourse with them, no iddah have you to count respect of them. So give them a present, set them free, i.e. divorce them in some manner. So you're engaged, the man doesn't have sex with you. You don't have to wait, right, if he divorces you?
Yeah.
But if you've had sex, then there's a waiting period of 3 monthly cycles. But then they asked Muhammad a question. You know what the question they asked him?
No.
Okay, some of our women are menopause, and then some of the women we marry are too young and they haven't had their periods. What about them? They wait 3 months. Here it is. Chapter 65, verse 4. And this is about the chapter of divorce. And in case here, I'll show it here, but I'm going to go to the ark. I'm going to give it to you. Well, look at Hilali Khan. And those of your women, chapter 65, verse 4, of your women as have passed the age of monthly courses, meaning menopause. For them, the iddah, prescribed period, if you have doubts about their periods, is 3 months. Count 3 months. Now watch here. And for those who have no courses, why? They haven't had their periods. They are still immature. Their iddah is 3 months likewise. You understand what that means?
No.
You want me to explain what it means?
Yeah, no, go ahead, explain it.
It's saying, all right, what if I marry a young girl, she hasn't had her periods, and I've had sex with her, I divorce her. How do I count her waiting period? Well, count 3 months. That's what it's saying right here again. Why do these girls have no courses here? And for those who have no courses, they are still immature. I married a young girl who hasn't even had her period, and I had sex with her, but now I'm displeased with her, I divorce her. Let her wait 3 months for the next guy to marry her.
Oh, wow.
Are you... Let me give it practically. As we speak right now, there are children in Muslim countries. This is being done to them. It's not a theory. It's happening in Afghanistan. It's happening in Saudi Arabia. It's happening in predominant Muslim countries where even a girl as young as 8, she'll be married off, and a man will mount her and then deflower her, and then he can divorce her, and then someone else can do the same. Now, for the life of me, you have some moral decency. Would you be okay if, let's assume, you were living at time Muhammad attacked your village. He took your mother captive, your father's still alive, and his men raped your mother and sold her off. Would you be okay with that?
I wouldn't be okay with that.
Would you be okay? They take let's say you have a 6-year-old sister, and then a man says, I'm going to marry her. And if she can't handle penetration, then I'll play with her, but at 9, I'm going to penetrate and deflower her.
No, that's not okay.
But that's in Islam, and that's what your prophet did to Aisha.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I heard about that.
Well, I'm
And
going to show you.
I did some studies about that, and they were just saying how, it's a different time period. She really wasn't young.
She really wasn't young. So
Go ahead. Show me.
I'm going to show you. So if I show you, it says she was playing with dolls and on swings, and she was playing with dolls because she hadn't reached puberty when Muhammad took her into his bed and mounted her. She was playing with dolls and on swings. I'm going to show it to you. But before I do that, let's see what the Muslim scholars say about this verse. Are you ready? Here it is, and I gave you the link.
Yeah.
Here you go. Who's the example given of a woman who hadn't reached puberty that was then married? Okay, who's the example given? You want to see?
Yeah.
Aisha.
Yeah.
Here it is.
There.
You see it? The seventh Bari by Aisha Bewley, chapter is the book of Tafsir. It says the Tafsir of Surah Talaq, meaning the chapter of the. Yeah. Mujahid said that if you have any doubt, 65 verse 4. That's the verse we read. If you do not know whether she menstruates or not, the iddah of women who do not longer menstruate and those who have not yet menstruated is 3 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then now notice the example here. Again, Aisha Bewley, Sahih Bukhari, chapter 70, book of marriage. Watch here, quoting 65:4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what did this say in Bukhari? They don't menstruate. Why? Because they're young, right? Those who have not menstruated. Okay, now who's the example given here? That also applies to those who have not yet menstruated. And he made the iddah of a girl before puberty 3 months. And then here, it is related from Aisha that the Prophet married her when she was 6 years old and consummated it when she was 9, and she was his wife for 9 years. If you see a 54-year-old man mounting a 9-year-old for 9 years and then leaving her a widow where she can never marry again, do you believe this man's a prophet?
Unfortunately, no.
Then you just left Islam, because that's what your prophet just did. That's what you read it, Bukhari. But now, here are the scholars on the meaning of 65:4. Here you go. Fath al-Bari from Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, who wrote the commentary on Sahih Bukhari. Look what he says here. And those who haven't menstruated yet, he made the waiting period 3 months for those who have menstruated, which indicates that giving her into marriage before puberty is permissible. You okay with that?
No.
So then you're no longer a Muslim.